demander pour pasteur d'avancer pour prier pour nous. Priez dans moi un cœur qui croit au bon Dieu et renouveler un bon esprit là-dedans. Créez dans moi un cœur qui croit au bon Dieu.
Eh bien, nous allons prier le Seigneur et nous demander tout le monde dans l'assemblée va parfois camper s'il vous plaît par nous allons dire bon Dieu merci pour le privilège de l'accorder nous pour nous capables la matin. Éternel notre Seigneur, merci du privilège qui nous est donné de nous tenir en ta présence. Merci pour ce jour. Bénis ces professionnels. Bénis l'initiative qui a lieu en ce jour. Bénis Maître Norgues, son cabinet d'avocats, ses collègues, ses amis. Bénis Seigneur tous ceux qui ont répondu présents pour faire de cette manifestation une journée d'information pour l'édification de ton peuple, pour l'orientation de ces jeunes et surtout et essentiellement pour ta gloire. Et tout l'honneur en revient à toi et à toi seul, Seigneur. Merci de consentir à habiter parmi nous, à être là. Nous savons depuis 9 heures et bien avant, tu étais là, car tu es fidèle au rendez-vous, fidèle à tes principes, fidèle à ton peuple. Bénis-nous abondamment, Seigneur. Toutes ces grâces, nous te les réclamons par Jésus, notre divin Sauveur, lui qui vit et règne dans tous les siècles. Amen. Amen. Notre Père, qui es aux cieux, que ton nom soit sanctifié, que ton règne vienne, que ta volonté soit faite sur la terre comme au ciel. Donne-nous aujourd'hui notre pain quotidien. Pardonne-nous nos offenses, comme nous aussi nous pardonnons à ceux qui nous ont offensés. Ne nous induis pas en tentation, mais délivre-nous du malin, car c'est à toi qu'appartient dans tous les siècles le règne, la puissance et la gloire. Amen. Merci, nous Magicien. Eh bien, nous présentons la bienvenue à tout le monde qui est là matin et nous remercions l'invité nous et merci de leur présence. Tant que nous t'a dit, sentez-nous la caille. On t'a dit, fais le bon. Et
make yourself feel like you're at home.
On a prié que journée est capable de rester gravée dans l'esprit. Et nous-mêmes, assistance là.
Okay. We are, you went a little too fast for me. We are praying that the day can last and then goes very well.
C'est sûr que
it's sure
assistance là grandit
avec people will come as we go.
Donc invitation a été faite.
The invitations were sent out.
Cependant c'est encore dans coutume non.
Ça passe ton bagage là parce que ça haïtien. I'm Haitian, I'm on time. So it is not in our culture. I'm sorry, I cannot say that. I'm going to accept that. So I like to warn them.
Non, c'est exception.
Non, pas exception. Pas exception. Pasteur, haïtien. 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 Haïtien, haïtien, haïtien. Yo tout là. Donc c'est pas exception des règles. Ça m'a pas dit.
Non, mais premier monde là, c'est à moi.
Non, pas
imagine que nous rendez-vous à 9h, là depuis 7h.
Mon sa classe haïtien. Donc c'est pas exception des règles. Ce sont des personnes qui sont comment on dit ça, indisciplinées. Un petit peu à l'argent lié.
On doit rectifier. On doit rectifier le tir, n'est-ce pas? Eh bien.
Pasteur, on phrase que je t'apprends.
C'est assez intéressant.
Non, pas une phrase que je t'apprends, là, dans le collège. Que l'offre excuse pour tel tout, c'est plus ou moins plus faible. C'est excuse pour faire pour tel tout, c'est faible pour faible. Ou pas faire excuse pour mon. Mon n'a pas de à l'heure. C'est lui qui est indiscipliné, il faut nous dire qu'il est indiscipliné pour qu'il fasse une correction. Ça, on va dire parce que moi-même, ça ici.
D'accord.
Pasteur,
voilà le problème. Voilà le problème. On connaît dans le débat, c'est avocat lié.
You said that because I'm a lawyer. Non, ça va bien avocat, ça c'est fact. C'est honnêteté. Ça dit moi.
Non, le droit est positif.
Ça dit c'est à l'aise.
Ok, d'accord.
Bon, voilà.
Pasteur assez. Pasteur assez qui place pour là,
non, mais ça qui est assez intéressant, c'est que nous sommes éducateurs et étant dans l'éducation, il faut que nous voyons le problème pour corriger.
C'est ça.
À la pausine, nous faisons ce qu'il y a de mieux. Nous essayons de faire ce qu'il y a de mieux dans la communauté.
C'est ça.
Donc, non pas cacher mes voyez roches. Donc, le mal est là. Il faut le dire, il faut attraper le
faut la laisser.
Il faut que vous attrapez tout par les corps. Donc, encore une fois, merci. Maman des assistants applaudit. Invitez-nous, s'il vous plaît. Merci de votre présence. Et s'il y a quelque chose, quel que soit ça, nous avons besoin pour votre plaisir, pour votre agrément parmi nous, n'hésitez pas à nous le demander. Nous ferons un devoir. Votre désir, c'est notre ordre. Que Dieu vous bénisse.
He's saying that if you guys need anything, let him know, and God bless you. First, I would like to thank God for allowing this day to happen. And we have guys today that came from as far as Connecticut to come and help out with this. We have guys who came from Brooklyn, Long Island, different far places to come out for this. So it is important. And I do apologize to you that people are running late because I know you guys came from far. I know Donald Sawyer, Dr. Donald Sawyer came from all the way from Connecticut and he's on time. So I do apologize to you guys that they're running late, but they will be here, as the pastor said. Again, thank God and thank you guys for coming. And one of our, he's not here, but he definitely helped a lot. And I have to say his name, Michael Bruni. He helped prepare the workshop, and he has a website called No Reasonable Doubt. I would advise everybody to look at it. Nous disons Dieu merci que event la fête jodi a et nous disons tout le monde merci parce que yo sorti bien loin pour yo venir faire bail là. Il y a des gens qui sorti Connecticut, il y a des gens qui sorti Long Island, il y a des gens qui sorti Brooklyn et nous disons merci le fait que yo viennent là et nous allons commencer. Nom c'est Anel Stéphane Nogues, otherwise known as Petite Sœur Michael. That's my mother, and many of you know her. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. At 2 years old, I went to Gonaïve in Haiti. And I spent 10 years there, and then I came back to New York. And when I came back to New York, I went to school at Sacred Heart for 1 year. I went to Incarnation for 2 years, and I went to Holy Cross for 4 years. Some of my Holy Cross friends are here too tonight. And then after Holy Cross High School in Flushing, Queens, I went to Hartwick College. After Hartwick College, I went to SUNY Oneonta, and then I went to school in Michigan. While I was in Michigan, I did a program in Oxford, in England. This was the path that I traveled, and I am Haitian, proud to be, will always be Haitian, and will die Haitian. And most importantly, will always remain a Christian as well, and also will always be a Gonaïvien for life. And everybody who knows me knows I'm from Gonaïve. And then today I am an attorney, and outside of being an attorney, I'm also a counselor. And those are the things that I've done, and I'm practicing law. That's what I'm doing. The first person we'll have is my cousin, who has made me proud. I'm very proud of her, who recently became a mother, and I'll let you tell. One thing I should do, how many people here does not speak English? Who doesn't speak English? Everybody speaks English, so we can do it all in English. I don't have to translate. All right? Huh? Oh. That's a photographer, Sawasi. And we thank him for coming. He came on the last minute and he shows up. Qui qui parle l'anglais? Qui parle l'anglais? That's one. So we have to translate. I'll translate for that one person, make sure she understands.
Good morning.
Bonjour.
Young scholars, good morning. I can tell you are young scholars because you are sitting far, far away from me, and I'm used to this. My name is Natalie Mignot Phillips. I'm sorry, he has to translate. I'm not used to this.
Oh, okay. Étudiant jeune, moi quand on est étudiant jeune parce que je m'habitue à ça, et ça fait nous chita loin de tout le monde.
My name is Natalie Mignot Phillips, and
Donc c'est Nathalie Mignot Phillips.
I am a teacher, and
Son professeur bien.
I was born and raised in New York City, Long Island specifically.
Moi fait New York City, moi fait grandi New York City, Long Island plus spécifique.
I am a product of private school.
Moi son produit de l'école privée.
I went to elementary school at St. Bernard, which is a Catholic school.
L'école Saint Bernard, qui est l'école catholique.
I went to an all-girl high school.
L'école fille seulement.
And I went to SUNY Stony Brook for college.
Dans l'école Stony Brook pour collège.
I also attended Nassau Community College during the summer.
Nan ete yo mal nan Nassau Community College.
And I did my master's at Malloy College.
Fè master mwen nan Malloy College.
I graduated Stony Brook with a biology degree.
Mwen graduate Stony Brook avèk an de biology.
I was pre-med at the time.
Depi met de sa.
I realized that that wasn't the path I wanted to follow.
Mwen realize ke se pa sa ke mwen devle fè.
So I went back to school to
Mwen
become
tourne à
a
l'école?
teacher.
Pou mwen tourne an professeur.
So I was master's at Malloy College in
Fè master
education.
mwen nan Malloy College nan edukasyon.
So I'm currently a high school math teacher in Brooklyn.
Mwen son professeur matematik Brooklyn.
I'm also a peer collaborative teacher. I don't know if you can translate.
I'm gonna need Hervé's help. He's the oldest one here. Let me put him on the spot.
I'm pretty much I'm the head of the math department.
C'est moi qui en charge département mathématique là dans l'école que je travaille là.
And I coach other teachers.
Et moi entraîner l'autre professeur.
And that's about it. That's everything in a nutshell.
Yes. And she just became a mother not too long ago. Next is Hervé Vixamar.
All right. Thank you very much for having me.
Merci pour que nous invitons là.
All right. I want to say first thank you to Stefan and to the panelists here for
Il dit
putting
merci.
this together.
Et il dit tout panel là. Merci.
Okay. And for me, in terms of my track, I was actually born in Haiti.
Il est fait en Haïti.
Port-au-Paix.
Port-au-Paix.
Yeah, which is Port of Peace. Okay.
Port of Peace.
Okay. So, came here when I was 7 years old. Really cute kid who came to New York.
You're not cute. He's a very cute kid. He says very cute.
But I came here in January. I came with my grandmother. My parents were already here in New York.
Il vient avec grand-mère lui. Papa était à New York déjà.
Right. We settled in Brooklyn.
Nous habitons Brooklyn.
We're right across the street, pretty much from the Brooklyn Museum.
Et frère tout en face c'est Brooklyn Museum là.
When I got here, we actually started in public school.
Nous commençons dans l'école publique.
Parents then moved further into Brooklyn, and I went to a private school called St. Jerome.
Yo rentré plus dans Brooklyn et puis là ça a changé. Moi dans l'école privée qui est Saint-Jérôme.
And then after St. Jerome's, I went to Midwood High School.
Après Saint-Jérôme dans Midwood High School.
I was an athlete. I don't want to say a star athlete.
But
I played baseball and I also ran track.
Il joué baseball et puis il faire course.
Right. My sister is here and she's actually was a track star in
yes, she was.
high school.
That's his Shirley. She was a track star in high school.
I wasn't as good as she was, but I was pretty
But
after high school, went to college. I went to Baruch College.
Après high school, à la Baruch College.
So I stayed in New York. I wound up doing a double major. I was in an industrial psychology major.
Il was a double. Il étudiait deux bails à la fois, psychologie industrielle.
And then I also did a business management.
Et puis encore business management. Il étudiait deux bails à la fois.
So after college, I actually again stayed here, and I went into the healthcare field.
Après collège, il était ici et puis dans la santé, dans le domaine santé.
And as you know, a lot of parents' dreams is to have their kids go into healthcare, become doctors. And I did not want to be a doctor. I was afraid of blood.
Ok, donc c'est pour ça que les parents ont envie de faire docteur, mais pas de faire docteur parce que tu perds du sang.
But I did become a hospital administrator. So,
il était comme administrateur dans l'hôpital.
So I worked at places like, I worked at St. Louis Roosevelt.
Il était travaillé dans St. Louis Roosevelt Hospital.
And at Brookdale Hospital.
Et puis dans Brookdale Hospital.
After a while, I decided to change my profession. I worked in healthcare for about 10 years.
Il travaille dans santé dans le domaine santé pour 10 ans.
Which I truly enjoyed, but I decided I wanted to do more for people. It was one of my goals was to always try to make a difference for people.
Et c'est pour ça que j'ai décidé pour travailler pour le monde et puis le rêve c'est toujours pour aider pour le monde pour faire pour le monde.
And then I became a financial planner, financial advisor.
Et puis là ça devient un financial planner or financial advisor.
And my goal there was to really help educate people to learn about how to handle their wealth, their money.
C'est que il y en a pas c'est que aider manage l'argent monde les aider pour faire plus quoi.
So I do a lot of, similar to this, I do a lot of workshops and I do a lot of one-on-one sitting, talking to people specifically about their goals.
Les chital parle avec nous spécifiquement about bon Dieu et puis en même temps tout sont un workshop.
So I've been doing this and I'm still continuously doing this, and I'd like to actually continue doing it for people here at this venue as well.
Il dit comme ça que il y a quelqu'un l'a fait, il a continué à faire, il dit comme ça que il a aimé faire pour nous boire ici à tout.
I live in Manhattan currently.
C'est juste Manhattan depuis là-dedans.
Right, and yeah, well, thank you. I'm married and I have a 17-year-old son who's going to his senior year and then we'll be going off to college.
Okay, qui parle in high school and college.
Yeah, and so I'm here to hopefully provide some value to you guys and to make a difference.
Yes, il explique que le cas aider, le cas monter value tout le monde et puis pour le cas faire différence.
Thank you.
The next presenter is a close friend of mine, very, very close friend of mine. I put him in the category of friends that I knew before I started speaking English. And when qui parle parler à son beaux amis, moi son ami quand il me dit bien avant de parler anglais. Et moi mon conseil deux amis, yo aime pas plaisir sous, mais pas venir pour pas plaisir sous. You know, you have friends that like to make fun of you, but they don't want nobody else to make fun of you. When we, wow, this is a little touching moment actually. I met him when I went to Incarnation. Did not know how to speak English. And when you hear a name like Pierre Jean-Jacques, you know he's Haitian. That's not he's laughing because I get an opportunity to put him on black. But we've been friends since we were 12. And now I'm 44. That'll let you know how many years we've been friends. And he's a Holy Cross just like myself. And I let him tell his story, but I appreciated him because when I first came here, I did not speak English. You know, kids make fun of you. He made fun of me, but he did not allow other people to make fun of me. And he protected me in elementary school and high school. And those are the people you call your friend. Like your brothers, they make fun of you. That's the relationship we have. Pierre Jean-Jacques.
Good morning, everybody. As you heard, my name is Pierre Jean-Jacques. Very Haitian name. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens. I went to Incarnation Elementary School, where I did me an L. And as he said, as a culture, as a people, as a minority people at that, back in the 80s, people used to make fun of us. And in my aspect, we should all stick together, no matter what. You know, God is always first in his family. And as we grow older, as we laugh at each other, we should help each other out in life, give each other good advice, and be there for each other and protect each other. That's what I was taught by my parents, and I try to instill that in my kids and to my friends. You know, like you said, we can make fun of each other, but we shouldn't abuse each other, take advantage of each other. As a Haitian community, sometimes you see that everybody go for themselves. And we can't make it that far with people to take advantage of each other. So, then continue on. I went to Holy Cross. I also went to Nassau for a semester, but at that time, I didn't think it was for me, so I joined the military, United States Marine Corps. Came out the Marine Corps, I became a barber, and I owned a barber shop. After that, I had a child, and at that point in my life, I figured I didn't change my life. So I looked into looking into trades, and I joined Local 3, electricians. And in that trade, they paid for me to go to college, and I graduated college, and at this moment, I'm still an electrician. I'm married with 3 kids. Thank you.
The next person, the next person is a very special person. Is Cassandra, who I've known for some years and who is very tough in the courthouse. If you go in front of her, you gotta be ready and prepared. Next one I'll be to address someone qui est spécial, c'est Cassandra Amy Johnson. Et il n'a pas travaillé dans le tribunal là. Et sous pareil, pour mon dossier, avocat a un dossier devant, il pas devant, il faut make sure que vous bien préparé parce que il n'est pas plus avant. Go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. So a little bit about myself. I was born in Far Rockaway. I was born in the hospital, but initially in Far Rockaway. And then moved to Queens Village. For elementary school, I went to PS 178 in Jamaica States. And then John J. Ryan Jr. High School. And then my parents moved to Long Island, and I went to high school at the Wheatley School. And then for college, I came back to Queens. I went to St. John's University.
St. John's University.
And I was a math major. I minored in French. The reason why I chose math was because I was good at it, and at the time I didn't know what else to do except to pursue what I'm good at. So at that time, my parents were pushing me to become an engineer, and so I chose math because I figured math, and I focused on physics because I thought I'd become an engineer. However, I chose to go to law school. And I chose to go to law school because at the time, throughout college, I was actually working in a law office. Throughout college and high school, law firm. And I realized that the law really interests me, so I chose to go to law school. I went to St. John's University School of Law as well.
Loi intéressé mon pile, c'est là que j'ai décidé pour m'aller dans l'école de droit et m'aller dans St. John's Law School.
And while I was there, because I was a math major and I realized some of my deficits, writing wasn't my strong suit, I focused on and got a job as a research assistant for a professor, and I focused on a lot of writing courses and working with professors there.
Pendant dans l'école de droit, il réalise parce que c'est mathématiques qu'il étudié, il réalisait que écrit pas seulement il fait bien, so depuis quand il était assistant au professeur pour qu'il était bien écrit.
I also was managing editor of the Real Property Law Journal.
Pendant que là, je manage the Real Property Law Journal. Law Journal, c'est un magazine, c'est un livre que chaque école de droit gagne. Pendant que tu étudies, c'est une manage.
And I did that because when I was in law school, I thought that I would do real estate law when I got out and when I graduated. And so I wanted to kind of focus on different areas that I was interested in, and so that when I'm looking for a job, I'm more marketable.
So, je fais ça, c'est parce que je pensais que je parlé dans real estate. Si je fais ça, je pensais que je cherchais travail, I would be more marketable.
But like most of us, when we're in school, we get jobs, not necessarily doing what we're interested in. But I did get to do a lot of real estate when I did graduate. But I worked at a small law office in Brooklyn.
Et pendant moi de l'école là, tant que tout le monde ça me dépasse de faire parler de faire, mais quand même moi de faire real estate law parce que nous travaillons dans cabinet petit pendant boucler.
And also to go back to why I thought I would do real estate was because I liked the transactional aspect of it. I thought that I can use my math degree in that respect.
C'est pour ça que j'ai choisi ça parce que des travail transaction et puis des pensées que j'ai utiliser et mathématiques
but And I also was scared to go to court. So
Et même temps, j'ai peur mal dans le tribunal, c'est pas vrai, non? Même temps, j'ai peur mal dans le tribunal.
So I figured if I just stay on the transactional side, I won't go to court, it'll be great. But
Moi, c'est si
somehow,
j'étais dans la transaction, par rapport à le tribunal, il était bon moins.
but somehow I ended up also in that law office, working, going to court, and litigating cases.
Mais cependant, malgré que j'ai peur, pendant que je travaille dans le cabinet, je dans le tribunal, malgré que j'ai peur tribunal, je dans le tribunal et puis malais.
And then when I left there, I ended up working for the city, defending the city in class action cases for the Human Resources Administration. It's one of the agency that administers public assistance benefits. And then
Je devine traverser et puis je devine au travail côté que c'est moi qui ai défendu City et je défendu City dans série de lawsuit.
and then when I left there, I worked in the court system, and I actually,
Elle quitte là, elle travaille dans le tribunal, dans le système tribunal là.
when I went into the court system, I was what you call a law secretary. So a law secretary is like a law clerk. You work for the judge, and you do everything that the judge needs. All the
Et puis elle
research,
quitte devine ça au secrétaire de droit qui veut dire que je travaille pour le juge là, je fais tout ça le juge là, j'ai besoin de faire. Et puis c'était avocat juge là.
And I've worked for 3 judges in Supreme Court, Queens County, and then now I'm a court attorney referee where I hear
Quand on court attorney referee, côté m'tendez,
where I preside over trials, settlement conferences,
côté que c'est moi qui t'endez tout litige qui gagne.
and other discovery issues.
Bah, écoutez que l'affaire Discovery, c'est là que on litige, qu'on échange de documents. C'est gérer ça entre les deux monde qui est dans litige.
To prepare them for trial.
De quoi préparer pour trial.
Most of my areas that I focus on is foreclosures and matrimonial.
Dans le tribunal là, c'est dossier real estate, dossier foreclosure, c'est ça le let me ask you a question, just for the room. Can you explain the difference between a referee and a judge?
So a referee is an appointed position, just as a judge could be. A judge is appointed or elected.
Referee, c'est ça en Haïti que on dit il est arbitre. Mais c'est pas arbitre en match, non? C'est arbitre en litige. Il pas un juge, mais il fonctionne tant qu'un juge.
Okay, so the difference is that a judge presides over cases and they could hear any case that comes before them.
La différence, c'est qu'un juge qui attend n'importe dossier qui vient devant.
Whereas for me, either the parties agree that I hear their case and decide their case.
Ok, faut que moun yo d'accord pour m'entendre des dossiers, puis pour m'entendre des dossiers.
Or if they don't agree, I can still hear and decide their case, but then they get another level of review where they go to the judge to have the judge confirm or reject what I
Si
say.
yo pas d'accord pour m'entendre des dossiers, yo pas m'entendre des dossiers quand même. Mais l'homme qui m'entend des dossiers, yo parle devant un juge pour continuer et pour entendre des dossiers que yo argue.
Otherwise, my authority is based on our administrative judge, which is like the judge who manages all the judges in the building, including the referees.
Décision qu'on y a parlé pour juge administratif dans le tribunal là, qui contrôle tout juge qui dans le tribunal là et habitué.
And he designates that I hear specific type of cases.
Il choisit pour que lui-même ait des dossiers spécifiques.
And in those situations, the parties don't have to agree that I actually.
Et dans cette situation, ça y est, les litigaires ne sont pas obligés d'accord pour entendre des dossiers. Okay? The next guy is a very, became a very close friend of mine. I met him in my office. And he's one of those clients that became a friend, more importantly, that became a brother. He came to my office for me to assist him with something, and then next thing you know, we in Haiti together, nous Jacmel ensemble, nous Haïti ensemble, nous tout partout, nous merger, et nous avons plaisir nous dans le pays, nous, ensemble. Donc, depuis qu'on va à Haïti, il dit, non, guys, on va à Haïti, oui, je ne sais pas si date ça bon pour vous. Si tu as pas pour me aller, parce que c'est un monde pas. Et sur le point de vue tout, et faut me dire ça que mon la qualité traité comme mon petit garçon. Et là, moi, je toujours sourire. Well, I agree. Okay, Serge, and not only that, he's an officer, Serge Jean-Baptiste.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. I was born and raised in Haiti. I went to Saint Gonzague. I did the whole high school in Haiti, and I came here in 1996. And my plan was to come here and go to college and then go back to Haiti. 23 years later, I'm still here with you guys. So it didn't work. When I came here, I did some college. I went to National Community College.
Le fait de venir ici, rêve moi, c'est que pour m'aller dans l'université et pour retourner la carrière, quand j'ai 23 ans dans le pays. Dans le collège, dans le National Community College.
And then, I worked a little bit.
Travail.
And I decided in 2006.
Décidé en 2006.
To join the police department.
Décidé pour venir en police, pour joindre police department.
So that worked out. I graduated from the academy.
Et puis par la marché, gradué de l'académie.
I did some patrol.
I commencé par patrol.
Work overnight.
Travaille le soir.
I work 3 to 11.
Travaille 3 à 11 heures.
And now I'm part of the community affair. I do crime prevention.
Quand je travaille, fait notre division, et puis quand c'est crime
prevention.
Je travaille dans le département pour. Mais comment on dit ça? Comment ça monte le collet? On a collé, pas de problème pour moi.
Prévention du crime.
Oui, crime prévention.
So what I do basically with crime prevention, we do elderly visits, like elderly victims. So,
ok, ça nous fait, nous dit avec les offres de mal.
So basically, we talked a lot about all the scams that's been going on.
Nous parlons de tout scam, tout vol qu'a fait, tout magouille qu'a fait avec Ramounio.
So I just want to point out, be aware of all the scams. IRS.
Quand on parle de ça, m'a dit nous ça, grand plus scam qu'a fait dans la rue. So, grand plus magouille qu'a fait dans la rue. Et après l'eau, il y a tout, c'est IRS que yo.
You're gonna get a lot of phone calls. I get phone calls every day.
Coup de fil tout le temps.
My own number is calling me. So you get people calling you, telling you they're calling from the police department. Asking you for money. We don't need your money. They don't just hang up. And I also went to Haiti after the earthquake. I did 4 months for the NYPD. So what we did, we worked with the Haitian police. And we also did an Explore program for kids in Haiti. That worked out. I was really happy about that program. And also anything I'm really involved with helping Haiti. Anything that's involved with helping kids in Haiti, and I'm there 100%.
So your work.
And I also do. We have a counterterrorism program in NYPD. So I'm part of the program as well. So I have 13. I'm doing 13 years now. I have 7 years left. Just like I was. I don't know. Just like I was telling your cousin. I have 7 more years to go. At 20, I'll probably retire and move down south. I'm probably gonna go far at first, close to Haiti, and then move slowly back to Haiti. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Next, mon kap parler c'est Bernard André. Et mon moi connaît longtemps et son mon moi connaît qui toujours focus, qui toujours APD et en pile dans nous qu'on pas parle. Et Pasteur Hans André, c'est dans Highland Church, c'est papa lui. Donc son mon toujours regarder lui dans le sens que comme modèle, dans le sens que il est quiet mais il travaille, il est toujours préparé pour l'aider. Ma prélèle, faut me dire ça parce que ma prélèle pas qu'à jouer numéro me gagner, me font erreur dans taper numéro. Et puis son ça même qui dit, "On fait pas ça." Comment fait ben là là? Me dit, "Me peut serrer les Bernard pas qu'à jouer, téléphone là pour mon mauvais bail." Et puis zami nan relèle mettre Bernard sous téléphone. Hier soir que me parle avec lui, it was like around 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock at night. 9 o'clock at night. Et puis Bernard, matin, il vient, il sort de Brooklyn, il sort de Brooklyn, il vient à l'heure. Je connais de temps en temps, je fais des petits blagues à l'heure, et parce que je ne vais pas oublier. C'est très important, c'est parce que nous traçons un exemple pour tout le monde. L'autre traçons un exemple pour tout le monde, ou pas qu'à vouloir pour tout le monde faire un bail de différent de ce que tracé là. C'est très important, ou pas qu'à vouloir, on tout le monde agit différent de ça que ou même grand monde a tracé. Nous, les petits toilettes, ou même tête toilette. Et c'est hypocrite pour demander aux petits font bagage que vous-même vous pas casser exemple là. Comment faire pour connaître? Donc, moi de Bernard à 9h du soir hier pour venir à l'heure, pour venir la matin à 9h, il fait le premier monde qui était là. Donc, c'est pour montrer Jean Bernard aimer des monde et Bernard moi de merci encore parce que c'est dernière minute. Moi de merci. OK? Bernard.
Thank you for having me here. It's really an honor to be here in this panel. I was looking over the paperwork this morning when he gave it to me. It's an honor to be on this panel, to be among so many accomplished people. It's also an honor to be sitting on the same panel with Pierre Jean-Jacques. Thank you for your service to this country. And it's an honor that, you know, for you to just ask me to be part of this panel. So I do thank you, and I thank the church for their hospitality. As Anel said, I'm a physician assistant. I'm the assistant chief physician assistant in the Department of Orthopedics for New York Presbyterian Queens.
Lycée assistant chef physician assistant dans l'hôpital à travail là. Presbyterian. Presbyterian Hospital.
My journey there to where I am today is pretty discombobulating. I didn't always want to be in medicine. Actually, it is my second career.
Actuellement, physician assistant c'est deuxième carrière. Il pas envie d'être dans médecine.
My first love was of aviation.
Moi c'était aviation.
I actually learned how to fly a plane before I ever learned how to drive a car.
Ils actuellement les apprennent à conduire un avion avant que ils conduisent une machine.
I first started flying planes at the age of 14 or 15.
On commençait à voyager, on commençait à conduire un avion depuis l'âge de 14 ans.
Okay, and I was getting ready to live in Switzerland to start flying for Swiss Air.
Dès que tu as préparé pour aller vivre la Suisse et pour commencer à voyager pour Swiss Air, pour conduire avion Swiss Air.
This was upon my graduation from college, from Downing College in Long Island.
C'était le fin gradué dans Downing College et Long Island.
One day I was in Manhattan and I heard a plane go overhead and crash into a building.
Pendant que j'étais à Manhattan et j'entendais un avion qui allait casser un building.
Then another one came.
Then le deuxième avion venu casser un building.
And from that day forward, every New Yorker's life changed.
Depuis jour ça, tout New York changé.
For me, the way my life changed was I quickly realized that the aviation industry was, for that time, so damaged that since people were
were not flying anymore, I would not be able to have a job that I thought would be secure.
Mais c'est pour ça que c'est là ça il changeait d'idée parce que voyage vient changer tellement que il pensait que tout le monde ne peut pas voyager même gens que le pape joue au travail, donc c'est ça qu'il ne fait pas de faire encore.
So I needed to figure out what else I was going to do.
Il faut décider qu'il n'a pas le faire.
After about a year or so, I decided that I would go into medicine.
C'est là ça a décidé que je vais rentrer dans la médecine.
However, I was not going to go and be a doctor.
Mais il a décidé que je ne vais pas le faire, il va pas devenir docteur.
I was introduced to the field of physician assistant, thankfully by my mother.
C'est maman qui t'a introduit moi dans le domaine physician assistant.
Which is incredibly important because I believe in, especially in Haitian households, having your mother and or your father have your back is incredibly important to your well-being.
Culture haïtienne, pour maman à papa, camper les bon support son bail qui est très important.
I could definitely say that I would not be here had it not been for the grace of God and the grace of my parents.
Que madame Kala, c'est pas pour bon Dieu et si c'est pas pour parents moi.
I went to Toro College to study physician assistant.
Dans Toro College pour étudier physician assistant.
I knew immediately that I wanted to go into the field of orthopedics.
Dès que tu connais que tu as besoin d'un field orthopedics.
And thankfully I achieved that goal.
Dis merci que moi bon Dieu fait m'accomplir rêve ça.
I've been a physician assistant in orthopedics for the past 12 years.
Been a physician assistant pour quelqu'un qui a 12 ans.
And because I'm a glutton for punishment, I went out and got an MBA in healthcare management as well.
Après ça, je suis retourné à l'école, ma formation en business administration.
Currently, my job responsibilities include assisting in surgery with total hip and total knee replacements and sports and spine surgeries.
Et dis ça encore blanc.
I currently assist in total hip and total knee replacements as well as sports and spine.
Moi, comment dire hip? Hanche et genou.
Okay, as well as sports medicine and spine surgery.
Et puis tout médecine pour athlètes.
Okay.
Et puis dos. Colonne vertébrale.
I also function as one of the staff physicians for the New York Mets.
Okay, moi suis un physicien pour New York Mets.
And I do take a leadership role in teaching residents from the hospital for special surgery.
Moi non leadership role tout pour aider professeur avec nouveau physicien assistant.
I just listed off a list of accomplishments that might seem, I've been told that it seems impressive to people, but it's important to know that my journey is not over.
It's important, les gens qui disent un peu de bagages qui cassent mon pile accomplissement devant l'autre monde, mais route la voyager n'est pas fini.
Ultimately, my goal is to go into hospital administration.
Rêve c'est pour que l'aller go dans hospital administration.
But the most important thing I say is that every step on this journey, it is leading somewhere, and all the journeys that you all have as students, they all lead somewhere.
Okay, il dit comme ça que ce qui est important, c'est que chaque step qui prend il y a un côté la mener. Et nous-mêmes comme étudiants, ce qui est important, c'est que pour nous connaître chaque ça nous fait il y a un côté la mener.
So, please understand, all of us are going to be speaking to you today. Understand that every single step that you make, starting from today, has a consequence. So please make those steps count.
Very important what he just said. Très important. Il dit comme ça que faut nous comprendre que chaque step que nous faisons, il y a un positif, il y a une conséquence. Toujours connaître que chaque soit fait a une conséquence.
As he said, my father's a pastor, and pastors tend to be long-winded, and that tends to be genetic. So I please.
C'est comme ça que papa son pasteur et pasteur dans son ça parler. Papa son pasteur et pasteur longtemps dans ce qu'il a parlé par en pile. Ça c'est pasteur dans son.
So I do apologize for taking up so much of your time.
All right. Excusez pour que lui prenne un peu de temps. The next guy, we met before we started college. We met on a trip. He played basketball in high school and college, and I also ran track and played football in college. We met in our recruitment trip. Mon balai tout, you know, someone que moi rencontré et avant collège parce que lui jouait basketball, moi-même j'étais dans high school, j'étais dans le collège, j'étais jouer football américain et j'étais faire course. Et puis depuis là ça nous rencontré et l'école moyenne t'es joué contre l'école high school par dans Holy Cross, t'es joué contre l'école monsieur. So les frères moi mais quand il s'agit de high school, nous avons une division tout petit entre nous. What I just said was that, you know, he went to Mount St. Michael's, and I went to Holy Cross. When it comes to talking about high school, that's the one place where we divide a little bit, and you can see he's smiling. Because I think during the 4 years I was in high school, every time we played his school, I think they left crying. He didn't smile about that. But in life, as you grow, l'homme grandit, il est toujours bon pour vos amis, qui veillent pour vous, ou veillent pour lui. Et dans veiller pour vous, il y a qu'on a gourmet, qu'on a des agréments, mais pas d'hypocrisie. Et sans amis, dans la première année, dans le collège, je ne pas dégager très bien. Et puis, il a toujours dit, mais Anel, nous venons là, parce que when we went to school, him and I, quand on est à l'école là, c'est seulement 12% minorité que tu as. L'aime de 12% minorité, c'est pas 12% noir, non? 12% minorité. Dans 12%, il y a des Chinois, il y a des Panyol, il y a toute l'autre minorité la donne. So, l'aime de ça, c'est nous, quand haïtien seulement que tu as, je ne suis pas haïtien, non? Mais c'est nous, c'était nous pas de quelques noirs. Nous sommes habitués dans le premier floor là, nous sommes habitués dans le deuxième floor là. Mais comme nous tous les deux sommes New York City, immédiatement nous avons un attachement entre nous deux. Et puis là on a fait un bail qui passe ça, l'autre la veille pour lui. C'est ça qui fait. Je nous ai dit que là nous sommes dans le collège avec toute sincérité, toute honnêteté, m'a dit. Là nous sommes dans le collège, question m'a posé, côté fait la fête. La poser une question, côté fait la fête. Quand il y a pas ça nous parler. Après amitié plus que 25 ans, quand il y a ça nous parler de qui livre écrit, qui dossier réglé. Ça veut dire que amitié a sorti dans plaisir. Il y a un petit qu'on a de pas faire petit monio là, il mène petit monio là. Et gain plaisir, mais globe grandi avec nos amis, faut qu'on côté privé, faut nous tous les deux grandir. Et si on n'a nous pas grandi, faut notre la modèle, faut notre la prendre et lever. Pendant, nous finissons à l'université, je vais quitter le palais et puis pendant que nous chacun grandi. Et puis nous toujours checker notre téléphone de Michigan et de Syracuse. Donc nous tous les deux avons grandi et puis nous toujours checker. Le bon problème, nous faisons conference call avec nos amis nous. Et donc nous avons parlé et nous toujours avons grandi sans amis qui veillent pour moi, qui veillent pour moi, qui nous gourmet. Mais nous gourmet pour la progression. Et m'a dit un bagage. Il ne faut pas nous parler mais rentrer dans la discussion. Mais il ne faut pas rentrer dans la discussion pour sauver nos amis en prochain. Je ne suis pas l'hypocrisie parce que on va parler de mon mal. On va parler avec mon mal avec mon pour le changer. Je dis on a parlé avec toute honnêteté parce que c'est Timon, c'est vite Timon n'a vie future là, la relève n'a préparé. And Dana said a lot of good things about you. And you know me, and I know you trust me. So go ahead. One more thing before you start. By the way, he's a naturalized Haitian. I got a joke I gotta say about him before I start. My freshman year in college, I didn't like the food and the cafeteria was called the Commons. And these were the days when I still ate pork. And even though pork didn't make me feel good, I did continue to eat it at the time, not anymore, at the time. And I called my mother, I told my mother, I'm not liking the food. At the time, that's what she used to cook, so she don't cook no more. My mother made a pot of griot. Maman fait un bouquet de griot, il mettait dans le freezer, il frise pour une nuit. Et puis, le demain matin, il voyait overnight express. Et puis, pour venir le demain, les balles la vie, il vient bon. Et puis, moi, je connais mon dormir, ouvre les. Et puis, les m'ouvre les balles, je prends 100 lit. I'm talking about the pork experience, now. Et puis, depuis là, ça. Et puis, là, monsieur, là, je prends les nègres, dit, wow, this is good. What is this? This is the Haitian national dish. Et puis, les nègres, puis, avec tout le monde, ils ont boire, ils viennent prendre la dernière, puis aller chambre. Donc, monsieur, c'est pas seulement chaque fois qu'il veut manger pour moi, il vient manger avec non. Il continue le travail là. Là, dans Dominicaine, il a travaillé avec Haïtien. So, go ahead, Don.
What you said. So I'm not Haitian.
Naturalized Haitian?
But I do work with my Haitian brothers and sisters who live in the Dominican Republic. One of the roles that I have at my university is I oversee global education. And so I work with Haitians who, I mean, they don't have papers in the Dominican Republic, and so we work with them to make sure they have access to some forms of education, employment, and housing. And so that's a lot of the work that I do there. And so I met Anel in college. I'm from a small village. I'm not sure if you heard of it. It's called Harlem. In New York City. I grew up in Harlem. So I was one of the first people in my family to go to college. And I went to Hartwood College where I met Anel. And during that time in college, I mean, I had a lot of great experiences. But I had a daughter when I was in college. And so Anel and a lot of my friends came around me and supported me as I went through. So I left school for a while. I joined the military. I was a combat medic in the army, and then I came back.
Pendant mon collège là, des vins petites et puis les amis tant que moi-même, tant que les amis ils étaient supportés lui et puis ils quitté collège et puis la langue militaire là.
And so I came back and I finished. I graduated. I had 3 more kids. 2 of them are here today.
Those are his kids. All right, he brought his kids here.
And so the daughter that I had when I was a college student, this May she graduated from NYU. And so I was proud of that. And my son is a sophomore right now at St. John's.
St. John University.
So I went on, I did a master's degree in cultural foundations of education.
Pendant ma formation en cultural
education.
Cultural education.
And then I did another master's degree in
deuxième master,
and then I ended up going further, and I did my PhD in
après ça m'a fait doctorat moi.
And so I became a sociology professor.
Que quand je suis professeur de sociologie,
I got promoted and I got tenure.
Yo promoté puis vinn bal tenure. Tenure à l'université ça veut dire que son sorte de position l'on vinn arriver dans tenure ou dans l'université à moins qu'on font bail qui extrêmement grave ou vinn en position pour l'université parce que pas qu'à évoquer ou. Okay.
So I teach in sociology, criminal justice, and I also teach.
Moi professeur de sociologie, criminal justice.
And I also teach in the Quinnipiac University Medical School.
Okay, moi aussi c'est professeur de Quinnipiac University Medical School.
And so for the past year and a half now, I went back into administration.
Dernier an et demi, je retourne dans l'administration de Quinnipiac University.
And I serve as the associate vice president.
Moi serve avec associé vice-président.
And so my role is to kind of work with curriculum and development.
Je travaille avec éducation dans le sens curriculum et développement.
And I also serve as the university's chief diversity officer.
Moi aussi servi comme chef officier diversity. Diversity.
And work with to expand and create a pipeline to increase the number of students of color and other marginalized people.
Ça me fait c'est que messieurs ils veulent pour monter le nombre d'étudiants de couleur à l'université.
And I'll be going back to the Dominican Republic with my Haitian family in March.
Que m'a fait dans mon masque venir là m'all retourner c'est domaine que travailler avec haïtien encore.
And so thank you for being here today. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Don. The next guy I met through doing community work, and many of you know him. He's a pastor himself, and one of the things I like about Pastor Emmanuel, he is for the people. He is for the right reason. Souvent bagay wap fait pour communauté a. De pour dire ça, n'importe ça le gen pour le faire. N'importe ça le gen pour le faire, l'a quitté li pour le faire. Imaginons, yesterday was the day, right? Yesterday was the day? Huh? Tuesday, okay. Imaginons, li gen pile bagay pour faire sur Orly, et puis pendant le passé dans l'office, là, dit, mon bagay m'a fait, il dit, moi là. C'est pour nous constater nos besoins, c'est pas pour nous garder pour publicité, c'est pas pour nous faire travail pour ça, pour bénéfice personnel. Nos besoins, les gens qui nous font nos communautés, qui retirent les versions pour faire travail là. C'est pour nous consacrer, Pasteur Emmanuel.
Thank you. Thank you. Glory to God. Good morning. I will be very brief. Donc on est pasteur mais pas l'empile, pasteur mais maladie. I joke a lot, so please, when you laugh, it's good for your health. You don't go to a strip clinic, but you go to a laugh clinic, right? First of all, it is a great honor to be here this morning. And I just want to, let's give a one applause for my attorney, our attorney, Anel, for his leadership, for his humility, for the woman. And I want to say one thing, I want to be very simple and brief.
Thank you.
And also all the colleagues here, the panelists. And I heard great stories, great experience, and accomplishment. May God continue to bless you. One thing that I want to say that not only is a humble attorney, one thing I learned from him, and that's why I will be doing in my new church, where I will be the new pastor of the American church, is helping kids back home.
Oui, on a pas que ma prenne c'est que ma prenne de Adèle c'est que fois là quand il travaille donc on y a moi-même m'a retourné m'a commencé à retourner la caille pour aider tout le monde la caille nous en Haïti.
Yes, so that's one thing I learned from him. So I want to be honest with that. Okay? When you help them pray, you're going to God and God will be back. So we didn't come to preach, we're just going to be very simple. And also my mentor, one of my mentors, Pastor Dazo, is really a great leader. And let's just put your hand together for him. And ministry is not easy, but we thank you. And we need to work together as a team, not divided. Moving forward, yes, I'm Brother Emmanuel. I'm the former assistant pastor of Gateway Christian Center. It's a multicultural church, 10 minutes from here in Valley Street. And but I'll be the new pastor in American church here in Queens, beginning September 21st, and which is connected with Allen Cathedral here in Queens. I'll be the senior pastor. Moving forward, yes, my background is social case management. I work for social service for 11 years in HIV population, housing, and also my background is sales, marketing, and government programs.
Your background is sales, management, and program government.
And I'm working with the elderly population, with the care industry. And also, last three things I want to say, happen to be the first black and happen to be Haitian. I was a former director for the entire communication for the entire government of Long Island. Communication for the entire controller's office is the second power.
The controller's office in Long Island.
So that's where I was today. Actually, it's funny. Mark me 2 years I was honored by
2 years,
yeah, since I was honored by the UN. themselves. So, and also, I do sit in the board. I was appointed by the police commissioner of Nassau County. I sit as the counsel to the police commissioner.
The police commissioner in Nassau County at the appointed.
Yeah, I work with him. And also, I'm not an attorney, but because of my background in government, I was appointed by the district attorney's office. I sit in the board of the district attorney's office. And there's a lot of things that I do in the community, and also I'm an overseer of international ministry for women's international.
C'est moi qui oversee international ministry.
So that's why I do a lot of gala and events in the community, and I will be actually, as we're speaking, I'm prepared to welcome the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, of Nepal, and the Speaker of the House for Nepal Parliament here in America, in partnership with the United States Congress. I'm sorry.
You can say that Creole.
Okay, yeah. Well, so rapidement, nous pas écrire en pile, mais nous faisons le programme. Nous avons une mission internationale, la femme qui bon Dieu va moi, elle est homeless, elle est sur dans la rue, et c'est comme ça nous avons un gros programme pour nous parler voilà, bienvenue, welcome the Deputy Prime Minister and the Speaker of the House for Nepal in collaboration with the United States Congress. I'll be hosting them and honoring them on behalf of Comité Haïtien 22 mars. So, quand people back on the committee, nous avons 23 ans public relations, that's what I do. And we do a lot of other things in the community, so we just don't want to give you so much, overwhelm you. And I'm writing my first memoir, and the person who's writing my book and helping me, he's the former Medal of Freedom Award from the United States President George Bush. He's writing my book, and my book is called I'm Destined for Greatness. That's my new memoir. That's what I'm doing. And so I am honored to serve my community. And also, as we're speaking, my fun's going 24 hours. I have so many events to be today, so I'm trying to stick with the schedule. You put a seatbelt on me today. And I will be running for a higher office in government. And that's my next step. And that's what I've been told many times by 42 people. And it's time for you to go forward to run for a higher office in government. And that's why my gala is called the team From Dream to Greatness, from a poor country to a higher office in the state capital. And also, I was the honor to make sure this year the law become effective January 1st, the $15 minimum wage. I was a speaker for Governor Cuomo. He chose me. So, yes, so there's a lot of things we do in the community, so we just want to make sure that the community is served well. And again, thank you, and it's my honor to be here this morning. Thank you for the privilege.
Okay, next thing you va parler, c'est un petit soeur, son moi gain plaisir pour moi j'en grandi et pour moi que li prend en route qui pas traditionnelle dans la culture haïtienne et pas seulement prend route là, mais dans route li prend la grandi la fleurit dans route li prend et c'est un monde qui montre que l'anti monde veut un métier depuis que c'est pas illégal que la fait et de parfois faut quitter là avec métier choisi parce que c'est vie pas lié c'est pas vie pas nous lié vie pas lié donc et métier que le choisi l'a dégagé très bien la donne et c'est pas un métier qui avocat qui ingénieur c'est l'autre donc très satisfait de lui et très satisfait du monde que le vient donc c'est un petit sonnier donc I do call her Mimi donc Mimi go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Henry.
Talk a little louder.
Sorry.
The mic is not working? No, it's working. Just got it.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Henry. I was born in Queens. I went to St. Boniface Elementary School, and I went to Holy Trinity High School. And during that time, I was kind of conflicted on what I wanted to do with my life. And every time when I would take a placement course, it would always tell me I was going to be a nurse. But I was always good in art. I always loved fashion. My dad's an artist. My mom is a very fashionable lady. So I took a chance and I told my mom, I want to be a fashion designer. And at first she laughed at me because in our culture, when you say you want to be a fashion designer, it's like you want to be a seamstress, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's a broader spectrum of what type of designer that I wanted to be. And I kind of had to educate my family on what fashion was and show her all the paperwork for school, and she believed in me, and she helped me take classes and courses, and I was able to go to FIT for 4 years and study abroad in Florence, Italy for 2 semesters, and that completely changed my life. After I graduated, I was able to get my first job, started at the bottom, being an assistant. To make more money on the side, I used to make dresses, prom dresses, birthday dresses, and I was really good at it, and I was at a point where I could possibly leave my job whoever I was working for and continue to do dresses, but I think I wanted to take more of the corporate side of fashion, so I stopped making dresses and I took my full-time job seriously, and I wasn't happy being an assistant, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna move up. So I went to associate level, and then I ended up being head designer, so I was able to travel, design, and delegate, and
one of the things she doesn't mention is that she has designed coats for major companies. I'm not going to mention the companies. Some of the coats that you guys have been wearing, whether when you guys go to a Macy's, when you guys go to a Bloomingdale's, when you guys go to a Nordstrom and you buy those coats, she's the one that has designed them. Yes. 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 She's the one that has designed them, even though it might say Tommy Hilfiger, it might say other names in them, they are her design. She's the one that made them. So, and one of the major reasons I bring them is that an honest living is an honest living. I will say that again. On vit honnête, son vie honnête. On carrière honnête, son carrière honnête. Et depuis qu'on a fait une carrière honnête, on mérite honneur. Vous pouvez vous faire ce qui n'est pas un sous-métier. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Donc, et l'on a fait un bagage ou remet, les gens ont fait un bagage ou remet, ils ont pile chance pour que gain succès la donne, parce que la fait sale remet, la fait sale bléa, et la grandi la donne. Il commence bas, il monte dans tout job gain. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Et puis donc, il pile bail pour nous mettre dans la select design. Donc, il travaille pour vous comparer. Il n'est pas dire son monde qui est très rond, il n'est pas dire, mais ça fait que il est bon que pour nous faire ça, on a fait un travail que nous avons fait. Bon, now I'm going to have some questions for you guys. I'm going to have some questions for each of you. I'm going to start with Natalie.
I started off the whole thing,
During your path, you switch. L'on commence à étudier, un moment où changer. Quand il y a plus que 10 ans, more than 10 years since you've been a teacher, at least 10, au minimum at least 10 years, plus que 10 ans, comment sentir le fait que, how do you feel, do you regret the fact that you changed? How do you think about the fact that you changed now? Comment pensez que le fait qu'on t'ait changé, non, ou tout est changé?
I need you to ask the question.
You change your courses in the midst of your studies to become a teacher. Do you regret changing it? And how do you look back at it now, the fact that you did change it?
So I was pre-med because, to be honest, growing up in a Haitian household, that's one of the things that, you know, is considered one of the higher jobs.
Il dit comme ça que la terre de médecine, c'est parce que l'homme grandit dans une famille haïtienne, c'est une discipline que parents poussent.
Now, I won't say about my parents pushed me, because I didn't want to become a doctor.
À l'époque, il était vraiment voulu.
But through my studies, it wasn't through the studies that I realized I didn't want to become a doctor, and I think that also Cassandra kind of touched upon it because you majored in math. It was through my real life experience. So I tutored to make money. From high school until now, I tutored.
Depuis la high school, la bâti mon leçon et dans collège la bâti mon leçon pour faire quoi?
So it was through those real life experiences that I realized that teaching was the path that I wanted to take.
C'est l'expérience qui te fait montrer que professeur c'est une balle qui m'intéresse là-dedans.
And when I look back, I wouldn't change anything. Because I gained a lot by being pre-med. But I'm happy being a teacher. And the life that I'm living now, being a mom is something that I've always wanted to do, and I don't think being a doctor would be conducive to the lifestyle that I want to live now. And it's also, I think, a wonderful thing to just follow the path that you want to do, not necessarily what your parents want to do. And it's also our jobs to educate them on certain things that they might not know about. For example, my sister is a speech pathologist, and when she started, it was a career that no one knew about.
Speech pathologist, c'est un qui parle de affaires longues, pour les gens parler que son carrière a commencé sur personne par contre carrière ça.
And my parents were very open to her doing that.
Que parents étaient très ouverts de faire ça.
The both of us followed our passions, and we're both very, very happy.
C'est pour ça que tous les deux follow passion, et tous les deux contents.
So to answer your question, I would not change anything.
Pour répondre à la question, on ne peut pas changer rien. Et faut que mes parents parlent, parents là, papa là, papa là.
That's my dad right there.
Faut-il camper, non? Faut-il camper? Papa là, et puis c'est deux. C'est cousine, moi, il faut faire genre là, c'est cousine, moi. Bon, oui, c'est cousine, moi, donc. Et là, ça, il était même. Ce qui doit, on parle avec lui de médecine. Avec Nathalie, on parlait, we met in a Starbucks, and I was talking to her, and it's funny because I'm thinking I'm gonna be able to say, hey, you should stay in medicine and everything. And we started talking, and then she says to me, I'm gonna be a teacher. Now let's talk about something else. And we talked a little bit, but I'm very proud of her. Yes. Vous avez une question, Pasteur Dazo? Sinon, on a ça, nous avons une question. Levez le nom, ma bien côté nous.
Non, salut encore panélistes. La question c'est actuellement étudiants il y a un loan qui est vraiment très élevé, très cher, comparé à un monde qui a étudié 10 ans, bien 15 ans de cela. En pile dans nous là, changer plusieurs champs d'études, plusieurs fields. Comment nous sommes capables d'aider les étudiants pour choisir bon métier, bon field là, et plus pour dépenser moins dans les affaires, l'eau ou bien gaspiller l'argent.
Don, I'm going to ask you this question that you just wants me to ask you. Is since you're a university representative, he says that 10 years ago, well, I know about it because I have loans. 10 years ago, the students now have more loans than the people 10 years ago. What can we do to help them, so that they don't have as much loans as as we did, what can they do? And then also help them choose the right major.
I don't believe in a such thing as a right major. I think one of the things we should tell students, I work with a lot of students, and specifically like people who come from the Caribbean and who come from the continent of Africa. A lot of times their parents are telling them they can have like 3 options: doctor, lawyer, engineer, and that's it. And some of those students come into my office and are some of the most miserable people I've met in my life because they're not necessarily following their passion.
Let me repeat what he just says, because that's very important what he just said. Les dit comme ça que ils travaillent avec les gens qui sont dans le Caribéen, les gens qui sont en Afrique. Et puis, il y a un bail qui fait ça que si les gens parents ont le choix, médecin, avocat ou bien ingénieur. Il dit, il n'y a pas de faire dans la ville, c'est les gens qui parents forcés, c'est les gens qui sont plus misérables que jamais rencontrés.
And so one of the things that I talk with students about is asking the question of what problems do you want to solve, and allowing that to kind of guide the choice that you have for a major.
Ok. Qui dit comme ça que il y a un truc qui est important pour major, c'est demander si mon qui ça t'a envie faire, qui problème qu'il gagne, que tu as aimé une solution pour problème là. Et puis c'est ça que vous guidez si mon pour un major, pour une étude qui pour aller avec lui.
And so one of my mentors told me, do what you love and the money will come.
Which I believe in. I believe in that. Il dit comme ça que on mentor qui dit comme ça que faire son meilleur et après l'argent va venir. Que on témoigner ça.
And so one of the things that we look at in higher education is the rise in cost, and at a certain point, if you remember the housing market.
Le nombre qui dans l'éducation, c'est que frère a monté. Si nous songeons the housing market,
a similar thing is going to happen in higher education, right? Because
même pas la arrivée dans l'éducation.
The prices are getting too high.
L'école vient plus cher.
And they're not going to be able to sustain the amount of colleges that we
que même pas qui dérive maison les maquettes la décrache là, c'est ça qui va arriver au collège parce que le collège est tellement cher, et puis le collège qui pas kakembe parce que pas bien assez étudiants.
And so one of the ways, like in addition to scholarships and things of that nature, one of the ways that students are saving money on college is to do their first 2 years at a community college.
Il y en a pas qui viennent arriver c'est que oui, et il y en a pas qui viennent arriver c'est que il y en a pas que tu veux faire dehors de scholarship, dehors de bourse, c'est que il y a notre service dans la community college avant.
And then transferring into a 4-year institution.
Et puis après ça, transfert dans l'éducation 4 ans.
The other thing to understand is that for success in life, the college degree is not necessary. Right?
Il dit comme ça que il y en a pas là, dit qu'on est quelqu'un qui pas d'accord avec lui. Pour gagner succès dans la vie, éducation collège n'est pas nécessaire, mais il est important.
And so what? I mean, there's a lot to say about that. So we push people to college and we push people away from trades. And I think that does damage to our community. Because one is not better than the other. All of these are needed. And we actually have a lack of people who are highly skilled workers in the trades.
Et puis quand nous venons au côté que nous pas des gens qui comptent travail dans le trade.
And so as you think about higher education, you have to think about if the school has what you need to be successful.
Mais c'est pour ça que il y en a pas qui gagnent dans l'éducation, c'est vrai l'école la gagne sont pensés qu'on besoin pour ce succès.
And if they're presenting a package for you to afford.
Et si présente un package que vous pouvez afford
with reduced loans.
With moins loan.
Because you have to pay them back.
Because no one will pay you back.
I just paid mine yesterday.
Yes.
And so I think we have a financial advisor on this panel
yes.
as well.
We're gonna. He's next.
And so kind of talking about.
It is go financial advisor qui prépare au collège tout.
Like ways to save.
Ways to save.
And to not necessarily look at colleges based on the name of the institution.
Pas regarder collège based on the name of the institution.
because I have colleagues who I work with who went to more prestigious universities than I did, and we ended up in the same place.
By the way, quelqu'un plus plus gros université que lui-même et puis il vient atterrir même côté. By the way, I want you guys to l'effect fini on training dans Harvard University. L'effect fini on training dans Harvard University dans leadership. L'effect. When did you finish your training in Harvard?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. L'effect fini. Donc, ballon applaudissement parce que just finished something in Harvard. So,
but I was at Harvard with people who went to Harvard. I didn't go to Harvard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like it's not.
Yeah,
really
Harvard.
So it's the work that you put in at the institution that you choose, because some people choose institutions that have more prestige and they go into more debt.
Oui, c'est comme ça que c'est ça fait pendant l'institution, c'est ça pour raconter. Parce que il y a des gens qui choisissent une institution qui a un gros nom et puis il y a plus de dettes.
But I think the type of institution that you go to matters later on, not for your first.
Yeah, this institution c'est les plus tard dans le dernier stade d'éducation, c'est là ça il y a plus d'importance que commencement.
And so, I mean, I know you have other people here who can talk to you about that, but I'll leave information for you to kind of talk with you about the process.
And
I mean, even if you're not interested in coming to the school where I can work with you to kind of think about the process.
Quinnipiac is a private school or a public school?
It's private.
It's private. And what's the tuition there?
62.
Tuition where he works at is 62,000. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, one of the persons I'm going to talk to, which also, c'est pas Monsieur Salman qui répond à une question ça, nous avons financial advisor. Financial advisor, il prépare nous de quoi nous fait commencer, nous fait pour nous parler avec lui. Hervé, how can you help someone? Comment aider au monde à poser une question avec elle? Comment aider au monde qui fait que petit monde de préparer pour petit monde à l'université?
Good question. As far as a financial planner, this is something I try to work with parents all the time. In terms of helping them start saving for college. Every parent I know, that's one of the biggest goals for their children. So I usually say start immediately. Once you have a child, the minute that they have a social security number, now there are some college plans that you can use that we may have. I mean, there's plans, something called a 529 plan. There's Coverdale Education IRA. There is right, and there's something called many times a UGMA, which is a uniform. It's basically a trust fund that the parents can start saving.
Okay.
The idea behind those plans is that the way that is how the money grows. You can invest the money grows. The money can grow tax free.
Let me ask you a question about that. If you have a child, si vous avez et vous décidez de social sécurité, et moi besoin serrer pour collège là, et besoin sortir dans chaque mois. Comme ça, vous retirez avant de charger une taxe ou bien après de charger une taxe?
Non, c'est après de charger une taxe.
So, au lieu que si mon a fait $30,000 par année, il dit que chaque année, je vais mettre $3,000. So, you have charged the tax sur $27,000 ou you have charged the tax sur $30,000?
No, unfortunately, you have depending on the plan. On usually the 529 plan, for example, they normally it's going to be after it's been taxed already.
Okay.
Because the thing is that when the money is growing tax free, when you pull it out, it's also tax free.
Ok. Comprenez bien ça le dit. Ça le dit est très important. C'est que son corps, l'on investit, la fait profit. pendant que la fait profit, il n'y a pas taxé sous profit que comme la fait. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Il n'y a pas taxé sous profit que comme la fait. Et puis, l'on retire comme là, dans le plan, pour si vous allez dans le collège, il n'y a pas taxé encore. Donc, il est très bon pour mettre comme serré pour petit monde. Surtout si vous avez un petit monde qui gagne, vous comprenez?
Right, so that's the important. So many times I try to explain the key thing is to do it begin it as soon as possible.
Le qui plus important, c'est commencer le plus tôt que possible.
Right. Sometimes I have clients who come in and the child is already 13 years old, 14 years old. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't save at that point. Right, because the amount of money that you're going to have for college is going to be a lot smaller for most parents.
Si vous commencez le petit et vous vraiment ou commencez pour l'emboutir ou commencez pour mon bâtir mon bon aide. And then in addition, it's better because you don't know what your financial status is going to be when that kid's going to college.
Exactly. So those plans, there are a number of different ways to do it. One of the things I usually recommend to parents is think about, as your child is growing up, we love to buy our kids a lot of, gifts or a lot of toys and stuff like that. But we have a lot of family who sometimes will give kids money. That's why you would open up that 520. Every time they have a birthday or Christmas and they have a couple of extra dollars, put some money in that 529.
Yes.
For them. Okay.
I know one of our guys has to go, and before he goes, I want to ask him a very important question for children. This is the police officer. We heard a lot of things going in the news. What is the best way? Because our kids are on the street, they take the bus, they go to school. Si moun you prend autobus là, il a de cap conduit, il y a l'école, il y a la rue, nous pas avec eux parfois. Comment, si une situation arrivée, on police approche un petit monde, qui plus bonne façon pour que petit monde réponde avec la police là, de quoi pour que pas de problème. Qui plus bonne façon, c'est une question très importante parce que we are black, let's be real. We heard a lot of things. We heard a lot of good things about the cops. We heard a lot of bad things about the cops. So that's why I asked the question: what is the best way for someone to interact with the police in a way to come out alive, to come out on top, to come out better, to come out neutral, and also to even better yet, to create a relationship with that officer so there's no problem. What is the best way for someone to react when you're stopped by the police or when you're dealing with the police?
Well, first of all, you have to understand the police officer is there to help you. And let's say there's a lot of police officers die. A lot of police officers die during car stops. So basically, you stop a car with tinted windows. So the cop approaching the car doesn't know who he's going to be dealing with. So the best thing is to make the cop feel safe. So I tell my daughter all the time, she drives, she's 21, and basically, and I even do it myself.
Yes.
When I'm off duty and I get stopped at night. I stop, I lower all my windows so the cops could see me, whoever is in the car. As far as kids, I mean, not only you gotta be respectful to the cops, but you gotta be respectful to your parents. You gotta be, you get stopped by the cops if you being very courteous. Most of the time, you will not have any problems.
Si vous n'êtes pas pour la police là, on va gérer de façon avec respect, plus fois, ou pas de problème.
You have to understand, police officers are human beings.
C'est pour ça qu'il faut comprendre que les police sont humains et tout.
Okay. People they probably think police officers, we go to work to try to harass people, but most cops, they come to work and basically they want to sign out at the end of the day, go home to their families.
C'est pour ça que pas oublier que les policiers sont là pour tout le monde dans le travail. Ils ont pile police là aller, ils ont fait puis retourner jeune madame et la famille.
So the main thing would be, you know, you get stopped by the cops, be very courteous.
Maintenant c'est que on police qui agit avec respect, agit avec courtoisie.
Because also I see, when I used to go to a lot of 911 jobs, I see a lot of kids, like I go to domestic incident.
Ils rentrent en situation domestique.
A lot of kids. I mean, when I started this job, I was very shocked.
Ils ont commencé à saisir un pile.
To see disrespectful some 16-year-old kids.
Ils ont un petit 16 ans qui respecté.
You know, all to their parents.
Respecté parents.
So I was looking at it like, wow, this is because I wasn't raised like that. So I think it's very important the way you raise your kids. Because at the end of the day, if you see a 16-year-old yelling at their dad or their mom, so there is a problem, and it's, I would say it started from the parents. So, you know, kids, you gotta be very respectful to your parents. And that's what I said.
We have some more questions. Somebody, Sure. The kids, you guys are not asking questions? The next question, the kids, one of you guys got to step up.
Question m'a posé Monsieur Pierre.
Pierre, okay, Pierre.
Non, non.
Hervé?
Hervé. Les yon pas très important, but mon sujet n'est pas comprendre comment pour me save comme là pour tout le monde entrer dans le collège. Comme si je donne plus d'explications. Est-ce que c'est dans chèque là ou bien c'est mon cap fil taxe là pour vous? Comment pour me faire pour me save comme là? Je donne plus d'explications. Merci.
Actually, it could probably be all the above. The easiest way is probably right through the paycheck, right from the paycheck. From the time you actually get paid, putting a certain amount of money on the side. I usually tell, a person, think about, usually I'm taking them through a process and understanding what all their expenses are. And then we decide how much can you put aside every single month. That's usually the easiest way to do it, is take it out of the paycheck, and then my job is to help you invest it in the right vehicle for it to grow. All depends on the age of the child again, and how much, what type of school are you trying to get the child to go to? So I guess to answer her question, I can probably sit down with her on a one-to-one. Yeah, probably the easiest way because it's not generalizing it.
Okay.
Because it's different for everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to, because we're addressing the parents, and I was fortunate to graduate undergrad with no loans, thanks to my dad. He paid out of his pocket, so I appreciate it. But I still have loans.
You want to be my daddy?
No, he's not taking any more applications. For the young scholars, when you're deciding that you want to go to college, your teachers tell you it's important for you to be a well-rounded student, right? So it starts there. So school isn't just about going to school and learning. That's a big part of it, right? But you should do extracurricular activities, and it doesn't have to be sports, right? You can be part of different clubs. You can volunteer in your communities. You can be apprentices. Try to get yourself out there, not only in school, but in your community, because it's through those connections that you'll find out where you can get help. It's not only scholarships, it's not only scoring like 1,600 on the SATs. There are a lot of grants that teachers don't tell you about, that your guidance counselors may not tell you about. You are to do that research. There is money out there. There is money out there for everybody. Okay, you do not have to be an A+ student. So look into that. I also don't believe that, I don't remember who said it, that there's the right major. So when you're going to school, don't think that, oh, I have to know what I need to do as soon as I walk into that building, okay? Just, community college is a wonderful, wonderful choice. And even starting in community college, which is a lot cheaper, you can go into a 4-year institution with a scholarship. That gives you the opportunity to bring up your grades. You don't have to worry about an SAT score at that point. So these are all things that you should probably talk to your guidance counselors about, and you should also be doing your own research about also on your own time, okay? And that will help lower your loans. And then there's also jobs that, if you are, like for example, teaching, I have loan forgiveness. So if I pay my loan for 10 years every month on time, they'll wipe out that $70,000 loan, all right? So there's a lot of jobs like that where they will forgive your loan after a certain amount of time as well. So that's something also you want to look into, because a lot of people, they start these jobs and they don't know, they're not privy to that. So you want to make sure that you educate yourself as well.
I have a question for Pierre. Where you went to school, the union paid for the school, right?
Correct.
How did you start it? How did you get in that? Because that's a great thing where you have a career, you're an electrician, successful I must say, and you have a degree, and you don't have debt. That's very important that you share with them how did you get started, how'd you get in that?
Actually, my cousin saw the ad for Local 3 in the newspaper.
Local 3 is a union, guys.
With being electricians. And at that time I was a barber, and he was like, he's older than me. Like I said, Jesus, we got for each other. He said, fill it out. You never know what can happen in the future. You don't know what path you want to take. So I filled it out and I put it in. 5 years later, I was looking for other things to do in my life because I just had a child. And I was looking at other trades and schools. And so happily, Local 3 responded. And I looked at the Local 3 and had great programs. And one of them, they sent you to college to get an associate's degree. And if you already have a degree, you can take anything else. You can become a master's. They will pay for you to go to school. They'll pay for your spouse, but not your children, to get a degree. They have programs besides college. Like for example, I'm taking project management right now. So that Local 3, not all locals, but a lot of unions support the people. That's why we should support the unions. They try to make the money come back to you and to your children. So in that respect, that's how I got involved in it. And that's how I made my choice, because they have such great programs to offer to me and to my family.
I have more questions for you guys, but I want to hear questions from the kids. Who has a question? I saw somebody raise their hand. You have a question? Now the kids, whenever you speak, please state your name. Yes. Speak loud.
Okay.
Stand up.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer, and I'm a upper junior at
College or?
Yes, John Jay College, and I have a question for Natalie. So you were saying, you said something that's important, and I feel like it's important, that you don't only go to school to learn your major and stuff, but you learn about yourself through extracurricular activities. And as a Haitian daughter, my mother doesn't actually understand that. She just believes that you go to school and you do your work and you leave. And I like to get involved. I'm a vice president for the Haitian American Student Organization. I'm a treasurer for Student Council. I'm actually running to get internship for John Jay's.
Give her a hand, guys. All these things, man. Give her a hand.
My school's far, and I commute from Long Island to extra. And sometimes I stay at school very, very late, like 11 o'clock I'm at school, I'm getting home very late. I mean, I get it, and I didn't want to dorm because I know she needs me at the house. So I get it why it's problematic for her because I'm getting involved in all these things. But I feel like it's beneficial for me because I'm happy doing these
How many
things.
organizations you in?
About 4.
Done. When we were in college, how many organizations were we in? Yeah.
So
it's good. It's awesome.
I don't know how to explain it to her that part of what I'm doing is important to me, and how do you do that?
Well, first I want to say you're doing an amazing job. I tip my hat off to you, and I love to see young women flourishing. I can't speak for, I'm pretty sure Stefan can probably speak for as far as the Haitian side and their mentality. But as a parent, of course your mom is going to worry. So there's nothing there that you can change about it. The only thing I can say to you is that having honest conversations, it's not easy, right? So I was always the one who never had the conversations. My dad can tell me. I tell you, I never had those conversations.
Yes, I had the conversations for her.
I never had those conversations because it wasn't easy for me, right? But my sister had those honest conversations. Our parents want us to do well. And at the end of the day, that's what they want, right? They may not understand it now. They might not understand the path that you're taking now. But you have to be persistent. And that's something I learned from my sister. You have to be very persistent. My sister wanted to go away to school. And my dad was like, I don't know about it. And she's like, look, this is the choice. I'm gonna go away. And that it just is what it is, and he can probably speak on that. And she did. Did they like it at first? No. We're all uncomfortable with change, right? But she ended up doing well. And I'm pretty sure if you ask him now, he'd probably say that was a wonderful decision for her. You have to be persistent. You have to be honest with your mom. It's gonna be long nights and hard conversations. But
is she gonna be here this afternoon?
No, she's at work. But as a Christian, sometimes she say, "Oh, I'm disobeying her. I'm like rebellious, whatever," because she literally everything I want to do, she literally sets me back for it, and I just persevere. Like I'm persistent, and I do what I want to do basically. And for her, it's like I'm disobedient, I'm this, I'm that.
Let me say something. We're doing a segment this afternoon for the parents panel when different is okay. It is a difficult thing because I've had to have an honest conversation because I myself, I did not start in law. Everybody knows me as the lawyer. But I started pre-med. When I called home, and I told my mother, pre-med is not for me. You have with maturity. I have to put the word with maturity. Avec maturité, c'est où cap pousser là son va prendre sac pour vous. Mais partie maturité à la donne. Get maturité à la donne. Mais faites nous faveur, pas qu'un petit moun yo back. Pas qu'un don't hold your kids back. Me, my mother could tell you, I knew I was going away to school from the first time I stepped foot in Holy Cross, and I find out that there was a. Depuis premier pas, moi mettais dans Holy Cross, monsieur qu'a dit ça. Depuis premier pas, moi mettais dans Holy Cross, m'entendais combat avec à la campus, m'dégage aller déjà. Mais maman qu'a dit ça, maman pas d'accord au commencement. Mais, si moun tout, là que m'a gradué avec honneur. Je sport, l'école la Vindem. Et while parent teacher conference meeting, tout professeur parle bien de moi. Et je connais moi-même, ça ne va pas faire un monde pas faire. Donc, je campe avec conviction. Si vous avez conviction, parle tout, pas oublier tout, c'est vie, pas lier tout. Je ne connais pas parler. Je ne connais pas toute l'histoire. Et moi, oui, tonton. Oui, but we cannot be the ones holding them back. Pas projeter la peur pour sous petit tout. Parce qu'on peur en bagaille, pas Sous peur, c'est où peur. Pas projeter la peur qui est dans le cœur, là, pas projeter. Et puis c'est sécrétion, yeah. Ou pas lever petit monde à bâton, ou lever petit monde à communication avec deux genoux à terre pour prier. Pas lever petit monde avec la peur. S'il a fait tout ce bail ça, il a fait tout belle bail ça, il a toute organisation ça. Grand-mère me dit on va pas jamais oublier. Grand-mère qui pas goût de collège, qui pas fini high school, il dit on va pas envoyer petit monde l'école pour des raisons, pour faire contact pour qu'on monde. Et vraiment vrai, on met des picots de grec, de vous pas contre personne, pas contre monde, pas contre monde, pas contre comment pour socialiser avec, on pas besoin de travail. Tout le monde ça yo. C'est dans l'école, c'est dans le travail, on rencontre yo. Et puis qui sortit bien loin pour venir moment support dans ma fait. Donc nous pas qu'à étranger ba petit monde dans support et puis nous mêmes qui maman, nous mêmes qui pas balle et puis la petit monde dans bac. Si petit monde ça pas pas faute l'autre monde pas nous, pas faute zami nous. Mais même pas honnête, oui, mais pas m'a dit qu'on n'est pas d'accord, c'est pas faute moi c'est me dire une vérité hein. C'est nous pas d'accord. Hein? Elle va regarder nous. M'a dit pas la jungle. Ouais, maman pas dit rien, pas dit mal élevé parce qu'on dit vérité m'a dit. Ah c'est bon donc moi.
I'd like to say something, especially for this young lady here. Well, first we got to make a difference between the young parents and parents who grew up and raised in Haiti. When they come here to the United States, the first thing they're concerned about their kid is safety. So when my daughter wanted to go out, to go to college in a different place, the first thing that was in my mind is safety. Is she going to be safe where she's going? Because so many things going on. We grew up in Haiti, there was no such thing. Ou Timon ou était Timon. But you guys are young generation, you were raised here. You had a different mentality. So it's not that we don't want you to move up, to go further. We want to know where you're going. Are you safe? Are you going to do well? Are you going to be able to manage yourself? Because you're going to meet other people, other friends you don't know. It's a complete different personality, different education. So we are concerned. So my daughter moved. So we kept traveling, going to see how she's doing. You know? But the communication is the bottom line. You have to communicate with your mother, your father. If there is no communication, there's going to be a problem. You have to make her feel safe, that you know what you're doing. She doesn't have to worry about you.
Ok. Il dit, il y a pas que ça, bon, on peut dire, c'est que c'est, il y a pas pour nous faire différence, c'est anciens parents avec nouveaux parents. Les gens qui fait ça en Haïti, les parents en Haïti, les différents parents qui ici. Il dit pas oublier, priorité ton parent c'est safety ti moun et sécurité ti moun. Donc c'est ti moun qui pour faire parent feel safe que il prend bonne décision, la prend bonne décision, la fait action qui pour faire parent en sécurité.
Especially you coming, you leaving school at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, this is special moment quitter l'école à 1h du matin. Pour la train.
Of course, your mother is going to be worried.
This is normal que maman a worry. But she thinks I'm not going anything. So. Bon, moi je que je vais balga canal. Hein? Ouais, je balga canal. Oh yeah, my GPA is a 3.8. Imagine, dis moi, mes amis, ça a fait mal plus toujours. Dis moi, mon café dans l'université c'est 4. Dis moi un 3.8. Et puis on parle pas le problème toujours. Pas mérité calé. Pas mérité calé. Faut que quand même petit monde mes amis. Oh. Moi dis non pas comment écrire. Mais dis ça. You went to school all the way in Italy. On a parlé de Long Island avec Manhattan. Là l'école all the way to Italy. How was that experience?
It was a life-changing experience.
What reaction did your parents have? This is an experience qui changeait la ville. What was the reaction of your parents when you went there?
They were very supportive, and they're also very scared because they don't know who you're gonna meet, what you're gonna go through.
but they supported you. And they supported her. Look what happened today. Bernard, I have a question for you concerning along the same line. Because before you became avant opinion physician assistant, you were flying planes. You had to have, I know your father, I know your mother. What was their reaction when you said that's what you wanted to do? And I know a Haitian parent, we're talking about safety, we're talking about security, but his parents allowed him to get on a plane. And today he became a physician assistant. Explain that to me.
Well, I made pretty clear that I wanted to be a pilot very early in my life. There's a picture that my parents keep of me being, I think it was 5 years old, 4 years old. Well, at first I was in kindergarten and I wrote a book report or something like that, and they still have it, and it says that I remember writing, when I grow up, I want to be an Air Force man because I want to fly them. I want to fly Air Force planes. And so they were supportive in that respect. My dad had made a friend, and he used to work for, it's the MTA now, but he used to be Jamaica Buses. He had a friend of his who used to be a chief pilot for TWA, and they organized a tour for me for my birthday, where I went to JFK to one of their hangars, and I was the only person with my parents in this, what I realized was a really big dark room, and they turned on the lights, and in front of me was a 747, which was, and they took me into the cockpit, and so this is all to say I had the benefit of having very supportive parents. Now, when it came time for me to start flying, it was a different story. They were supportive. It costs money. Flying is, at the very least, flying is an expensive hobby. Flight time is expensive. It's not just, so for me, when I was in college and flying, it was college tuition cost and then flight cost as well. So that was over and above, that's to say. So, but when I was flying, when I was younger, they were able to give me some flight lessons at a local airport, Farmingdale, out on Route 110. And, the only time that I think my parents ever were concerned were milestone events, or when I had my only accident in the air, where my first solo, or my first cross-country flight, flying over 50 miles someplace. My parents were legit concerned when I was involved in an aircraft collision, trying to land at the Brookhaven Airport, but everything worked out. I'm still here. So they were legitimately concerned about that. But, Haitian parent or not, parents are going to be concerned. As a parent myself, parents are going to be concerned regardless. So as a child, I think it's important that we have an allowance for that as well. We need to know that any good parent's going to be concerned about your safety, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you go. You're always, and no matter how old you are always going to be their child, period.
But here's the one thing I noticed that in your story is that you said your parents were concerned, and they weren't concerned and they said, let me sit down. They were concerned, however, they invested in getting information. Malgré pas concerné, la chercher information dans intérêt, dans ça qui nous a intéressé. Il pas juste fermer mind, ça va pour moi. Mais on cherche, parce que à la fin, pas oublier ça. Décision ça c'est décision qui va faire une bonne relation entre ou même à petit tout devant. Si que l'intéressé, si on est intéressé, ou pas montrer que vous même comme parle, ou intéressé là-dedans tout, parce que c'est devoir lié. Si vous n'avez pas demandé de faire, ou faire, si l'intéressé dans le bagage, il faut prendre information dans le petit monde, pour le petit monde. Il faut connaître ça la concerner. Pas l'opportunité. Participer dans ça la faire. aller pour connaître dans ça l'affaire.
And they were involved in everything.
Et puis, dans ce sens, malgré les parents concernés, mais cependant, les parents ne l'ont pas projeté la peur sous les gens. Il y a tout le ça la donne. Il y a tout le ça la donne. Donc, kids, don't make me choose you. You guys have to ask questions.
Can I just add to what we were talking about?
So think of a question while she adds on.
I think also to add to what's being said is that your parents are going to be whoever they are, you know, and I don't want to say they're just set in their ways because we all have our way. But as a child who knows that, your challenge is now to get the information, not just say, oh, well, I want them to do more. I think this is the practice for you of what you need to present to your mom to make her feel more comfortable. So she may not believe that this is what you're doing, then that goes back to the communication, that you need to present to her what you're doing. Show her, invite her, you know, and, you know, open her up to your world so that she could see that, you know, yes, the safety is an issue, and I'm also going to call you and let you know that I'm doing this, you know, whatever it is. But I think that you need to like bring her more into your world. When I was growing up, my dad, he's American, my mother's Haitian, and they were coming from the space of not knowing. And my dad was raised by his grandparents, so that was like a completely different generation. You know, those were people that literally just became free, you know? So his perspective growing up and trying to raise me and my sister is different than now when they're raising my cousin who's in college, you know? And it's through those experiences that they were able to kind of be different now. But at that time, they weren't able to guide me in those ways, you know? So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Listen, there's a person here around here who has a question. Go ahead.
Thank you guys for coming and responding. I have a question for, I don't see the name too well, officer. You say, Serge.
Yes.
We have to make the police feel safe. How? By lower your window, I don't think that's enough. How to make the police officer feel safe?
I mean, it's just an example that I gave you. Because the thing is, when you interact with the police, they don't know, like they get 911 calls. We go to somebody's house. So we go to somebody's on the street. So we don't know that person. We don't know that person's intention. So the way you interact with the police, it's gonna, basically the way that you speak to them and the way you carry yourself is gonna make them safe. When I said something about the windows, it's basically, you lower your windows, they can see and hear whatever is coming from the car. So instead of them approaching the car and being in the dark.
Mm-hmm. The next part of my question is, you said something, the tone of your voice. If you get caught, you didn't know that you were going to get caught, and right away you start talking, you don't know what you're saying. And I know the first clue for you guys will say, oh, she's up to something, or he's up to something, because he doesn't know what he's saying. Ou seulement saisi, parce qu'on pas quand c'est police ça vient après, quand on pas quand ça pour dire, c'est première fois police ça pour, pas même qu'on nom même ou bien adresse.
Yes. Yes, exactly. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Okay, je comprends ce qu'on dit, parce que il y a une police qui comprend ça. C'est pour ça que je toujours dis ça dans la police département. Et il y a une police qui ne pas comprendre comme si culture. La majorité des polices disent ça dans l'académie. Que il y a des gens approcher différentes cultures. Par exemple, ça veut dire qu'on arrive où on paraît haïtien, quand on fait une discussion football, et puis il y a mis en l'air, et puis il y a joué par ça. Une police qui n'est pas habituée à un scénario, ça, là, pense que c'est mon cap gourmet. Mais c'est pas mon cap gourmet vraiment, c'est quoi ça, haïtien. So, il y a parlé fort, mais en l'air, il y a joué par ça. tout le temps me dit, police qui avec mais jeunes policiers, surtout police blanc, qui m'expliquait ça, parce que c'est ça qui fait. Il y a des polices blancs jeunes qui habitent juste dans le fond de la ils n'ont pas jamais eu aucune interaction avec minorité, monde noir, ça ne peut pas avoir une interaction comme ça. Quand il y a la police, ça sort de l'académie pour écouter le projet Brooklyn. C'est la première interaction police avec un monde noir. So police il peut vraiment sentir comme si il a senti un petit gens peur peut-être pas. So ou même Jean mettait la l'aise là, il est arrivé à bon temps l'approcher, il réalise OK, c'est pour ça que vous mettez le safe que Jean parle avec lui, il dit OK bon. Pas comme ça me pour avec. So c'est on comprend ce qu'on dit parce que sous pas habitué à la police par exemple, moi même avant de dans la police, pas comme jamais de interaction avec la police en fois. So, si on première fois, il aurait été ou même en tir c'est une drôle, on comprend ce qu'on dit. Mais faut comme si police n'a venu, il faut commencer ça tout. Police n'a gagné l'heure, il fait col là, ou même on n'a pas une bonne heure pour. Ou on n'a pas son côté, on n'a pas aimé, Jean campé et puis dire la police dit bah on menti sous, dit oh, moi tu dis ça, il y a des bons armes dans la poche, il y a des disques là. Police c'est ça le prend encore là, par contre, ça l'a jeune. So là, il finit pour nous mettre le confortable. So là, on met le confortable, par exemple, là, on dirait les agents, il va qui vont te faire, pas un problème là, et puis là, c'est.
Et puis, tu ne vas pas faire ça tout de suite, mais Nicole, pas jouer avant.
Non, je ne vais pas d'accord ça.
Mon Nicole, c'est bon. Oui, vous avez une question?
Bonsoir. Nous, pas moi, c'est Jules Laurent, et moi, j'ai été invité par Semirline. Moi, j'ai une question d'ordre général et encore son mise au peuplier. Bien avant, moi, je dois féliciter les gens de l'église qui prennent l'initiative. Et l'église n'a pas ça. Et son gros bain qui fait là, pour que les membres de l'église, ils connaissent les ressources qui sont available à la caille. L'important pour nous, nos resources. C'est vraiment important pour nous connaître les ressources. Et il y a une approche que nous faisons là, c'est que les responsables de l'église, les pasteurs, et ils ont une pile responsabilité envers devenir petite l'église. Et ça qu'a fait là, je dis, si toute l'église a fait, un pile jeune qui désorienté, je dis, aux États-Unis, vous devez sauver. Parce qu'il y a un tabou qui a dégagé la communauté haïtienne. Depuis que nous venons ici comme immigrants, et le champ médical, c'est la seule porte d'entrée. C'est nurse, et chercher ciel, épicier, c'est ça qui est comme porte d'entrée, c'est qui va manger vite. Et parce que si nous regardons les tables là, nous avons une diversité de professions qui est sur la table là. Et que nous avons manger à vivre là-dedans. Ça qui est important pour nous dire que bénédiction bon Dieu, il a de place là. Côté nurse, côté police, côté avocat, côté manger. Depuis que c'est bon Dieu, on va manger quand même. Pasteur, dirigeant, parents qui bâtissent nos barrières sous choix que vous voulez faire comme vision, le pasteur parle sous chef, parents plus tendez. Ce sont des parents qui ont des petits mouns. Moi, je parents qui ont supposé payer un peu de conseil.
On parle de ça, on parle de ça, et when duty calls, he has to go, let job la relo for aller. Et police officer, il peut aller. Donc, nous allons bravo pour lui. Et puis, nous allons remerciement. Parce que lui prend le temps. Parce que je ne sais pas le travail, oui. Malgré le travail, il vient à l'heure. L'heure de 10 minutes à venir, l'heure ça vient. L'heure de 10 minutes à aller, c'est l'heure ça va aller parce qu'il vient pour le travail. Donc, il respecte l'heure, il trace l'exemple comme officier d'État. Il trace l'exemple. Et nous-mêmes, tout comme chrétiens, il faut nous tracer l'exemple. Parce que ça dans le proverbe. Est-ce que vous comprenez? Donc, nous avons dit nos remerciements et nous faisons qu'on va venir. 100%. Thank you, sis. Dans 5 minutes, nous allons dans le lunch. Et puis après ça, nous allons retourner là. Et ça, nous fait très important parce que Et on a parlé sur ça après-midi de ajustement leur parenting between the United States and Haiti. On a fait un programme sur ça après-midi là tout. Et puis ça fait que ma on a dit monsieur maintenant qu'est-ce pas veut quitter ba leur aller. Ça fait pas veut quitter l'aller. Bon professeur te dit ça que opportunité pas garantie que la prétend nous. Opportunité pas garantie que la vigne deux fois. Et les nous avons information qu'a bail. Les informations les nous apprend temps yo pas chargé nous. Y a ba nous information pour petit nous. C'est très important pour nous là. Parce que Jean-Jonathan me dit matin, avec discipline, avec professeur Rémer, l'argent a venu devant. Et il y en a pas que m'a quitté nous et puis nous retourner m'a continuer c'est que investir dans Timounio parce que on doit travailler mais moi-même tout le temps mal l'enterrement dans quarantaine moi tout le temps mal l'enterrement beaucoup de gens ouais on U-Haul de on cobia beaucoup de gens ouais on coffre de on cobia beaucoup de gens ouais la bijoux de on cobia donc ça dans là ça va seulement aller et nous même comme parents l'homme était en denti mon le plus important que soit quitter pour lui sous pas mettre en denti mon et puis ou quitter pour lui il doit aller avec il doit dire soit quitter pour lui pas même durer un an et puis il doit million quitter pour lui il pas même durer un an mais l'homme quitter en denti mon ou pas besoin quitter rien pour lui donc c'est ça qui fait que me fait bon Dieu dans cœur pour me faire programme là donc nous allons prendre lunch pour 45 minutes à 1 temps. Donc si nous avons des amis qui dans l'église qui parlent là, reléo, dis au programme dans l'affaire, faire venir parce que nous parlons l'autre monde qui parle et puis nous parlons matin nous pas plus façon jeune mais après-midi c'est parle grand monde jeune, des monde qui pas chita là, des monde qui dans position par nous qui parle tendre donc nous pas tendre opinion nous pas passer moi-même moi crois dans justice. Moi je crois que si que on penser jeune, il faut pas penser grand monde dans tout. Et même j'ai eu toute opportunité pour grand monde faut une opportunité. Même une opportunité pour jeunes, parler faut une opportunité pour grand monde. Alright? Donc nous pas manger, n'a prendre break et m'a demandé tout le monde pour retourner, nous continuer parce que nous pas faire l'autre programme totalement et monde ça va pas dans tout et là donc pas aller. Donc, on a rencontré dans 45 minutes, on a rencontré là, ok? Ok, bye-bye. Alors, nous tournons après un workshop qu'a fait, oui. Nous allons finir notre fait commencer, oui. Après un workshop qu'a fait avec Timounio. So, il y a un workshop qui va faire dans l'autre chambre. Les parents ont parlé, donc il y a tout ça là-dedans. Donc, c'est pas un décalé. Donc, parce que quelqu'un va faire Timounio, pas faire Timounio aller. Ok, bye bye. Thank you.
for that.